Hi, I worked with a first grade student who currently attends Lone Tree School where I work. This is a letter that I sent home with her before I started working with her, which was just not that she didn't know who I was, but it was a good reminder. She thought it was fun to take it home to her mom and dad and kind of show it to them and talk about the things that we'd be doing. Jenna's reading scores across the board are pretty low. She knew very few first grade sight words, as well as had trouble decoding words, even simple CBC words with a short vowel sound. These are her winter fast scores, and these are the spring fast scores that I pulled yesterday. As you can see, there hasn't been a whole lot of growth with Jenna from winter to spring. Not only did she get time with me during my tutoring experience, but she also gets reading recovery and an additional 25-minute intervention time with her classroom teacher. This is the reading inventory that I did. Got to know a little bit more about Jenna and the things that she needed to work on. Her instructional goal, this is the original instructional goal using the BRI that I did. After doing the final BRI, Jenna the only thing she grew in was the word list, going from instructional from kindergarten to first grade. The rest, the oral word recognition and the comprehension, all stayed the same. This is my first of lesson plans. The very first thing I did with Jenna was gave her what we call an informal decoding inventory, which I use with all my kiddos who are struggling. And I think it's back here. So this is the original decoding inventory that I did with Jenna. She got 7 of the real words right and only 2 of the nonsense words. It appeared as though she was trying to make them into real words, as she said mat for mott and tip for tib. She also has a little bit of vowel confusion. So that's kind of what we focused on for our first few lessons. Did some decodable books and text. Did some phonemic awareness with vowel sounds and short vowel sounds. Continued doing that. Kind of tried to change it up a little bit and use some rhyming, thinking that she would see the patterns in the words and start to pick up on those things. By the third lesson, her teacher suggested we do a little bit of sight word work as she's, falling behind her peers in sight words. So we started that, tried to make a game out of some of them, like this is a Go Fish game that we used. For lesson 4, back to same type of book as the decodable book, but this is a high frequency words book, so it uses her sight words. And this was my first pillar game that I did with her, which is just phrases, shoots and letters. Play it just like a regular shoots and letters game, but they have to read the fry phrases, which she really, really enjoyed. Actually took this back to her classroom and used it with her friends. This one is another, kind of went back and forth with sight words and decodable words. This is this lesson we actually did sight word bingo on a website called abcia.com, which a lot of my kids really like. It's just an interactive whiteboard game, bingo game. This is back to the CVC patterns in words and using that rhyming again. We use Walpole at our school, just a reading program that the kids really seem to enjoy. Has them doing some reading along with sounding and blending, and makes them write the words, usually using the Alconin boxes. And then this is just another lesson, another Walpole lesson. And then this time we did a game called Race to the Pond, and she just had to roll the dice and move that many on the board and read the CVC word as she came to it. This is another CVC, just short fluency passage with some comprehension questions. And then this is the sight word assessment. This is more Walpole, again, another lesson in Walpole. And then this is still Alconen boxes basically, but instead of having her write the letters, I just changed it up a little bit and she stamps the letters instead of writing them, which she enjoyed. After, I believe that was lesson 9 with her, I gave her the informal decoding inventory again. She got all of the regular words right this time and still is missing some of those nonsense words. Again, looks like she's trying to make them into real words, although she does continue to have some vowel confusion. And then, like I talked about my pillar games already, the one was the rhyming clip cards that I showed, and then these, were these. And then the second pillar game was the Fry Shoots and Ladders. Like I said, Jenna really enjoyed that game. This is the BRI that I talked about earlier. Okay, this is the word list is the only increase that she had. So my recommendation would be for her to continue to work on sight words and decodable words in isolation as well as in passages and books. Typically Jenna gets more words correct in isolation than she does when she sees them in a passage or a book. So I think she just needs to become more confident in herself and, you know, just give more practice and more time at home. She does work on things at home, and her mom and dad are noticing the same things at home. Jenna's weaknesses, like I said in my summary, are not really weaknesses that are anything that Jenna can control on her own at this point. I don't think her mom and dad have noticed, as well as the school. She just doesn't retain the information from day to day. So I think that's becoming frustrating to mom and dad, as well as her classroom teacher, and just trying to figure out how they're going to get her to retain the information that she's already learned. I also included just her FAST assessments. This is her nonsense word assessment, and I know this is really small print, so I don't know if you can see those, but still very little growth. She started with 11 words correct, and she's up to 15 at this point, as well as her correct words per minute. She started with 17, made some good gains, got up to 37, 26, kind of fluctuated in the middle. Her last score was a 51, but she also had 5 errors. So her teacher's not sure what her next score will look like, to be honest. And I think that covers it. Like I said, Jenna's going to do some additional testing, and I think a celebration for me would be being able to be part of the process for her. And if she does get referred to my roster, knowing that I know her as a student already and she's comfortable working with me, and well, we already have our relationship built. So thank you.